Awesome. Guys, first of all, I want all of you to stand up and clap for yourself. Sunday सुबह 9 बजे आकर के you are here to learn something. Who does that? Wonderful. I'll make sure that the next 1 hour is valuable to all of you people. How many of you have felt that there's too many people around you who are doing just as good as you are and you need to differentiate yourself from everyone else? Raise your hands. Yeah? You find it hard to find that USP that will separate you from everyone. This is exactly how I was when I first joined college in 2019. I was afraid that ठीक है मैं अपने college, अपने school time में तो I was the Sharma जी का बेटा, but यहाँ पे सब लोग शर्मा जी के बेटे हैं, right? Everyone is like a good person who's expert at physics, chemistry, or maths, or whatever it is that they're interested in. And I felt that it's going to be very hard for me to differentiate myself and find out my true USP. But that is when I realized that I need to figure it out, right? I need to find out that one thing that I am great at and that I can do better than everyone else. And that's when I started my journey of finding that one thing. And that's how I want to talk about this whole journey of mine and the lessons that you can learn from all of these. The first thing that I did was to start learning skills, right? How many of you are in first year of college right now? First year, second year, mostly all of you people, right? How many of you have tried learning skills like coding, graphic design, content writing? All right, I see a lot of hands, that's amazing. So this is exactly what I did. I started learning skills. I started with Python development. I then went on to learn about digital marketing. I got inspired by Gary Vee, learned about social media marketing, Facebook ads. I did everything under the roof to understand what is it that I can do and that can distinguish myself, right? Ek bar, there's this hackathon that happened in my college in which I had to present and pitch जो चीज़ मैंने बनाई थी in the last 24 hours. And that is when the biggest insight I got is that I suck at communicating myself. जब मैं वहाँ पे गया in front of 10 people, there were 5-4 judges, I could not express मैंने क्या चीज़ बनाई है over the last 24 hours. Have you ever felt that you're not good at communicating, at selling something? Have you ever felt that? Yeah? That's exactly what I felt. And that is when I realized that I need to do something about this. Yes, I can be a great coder, I can be a great graphic designer, I can be great at video editing as well, but if I do not know how to communicate myself, how to sell what I have just built, there's no point, right? There's no point of me being the best developer if I cannot express how this thing works and how can this help you in your day-to-day life. And that's when I started my own journey of documenting my life on YouTube. I did not have many friends in first year. I was that shy kid. And so I thought, how cool would it be if I can just upload a video on YouTube? And if I can do that every single day, I would be able to improve my communication skills. And that's what I did. I used to make videos. And that is when it hit me that in my college, there are some amazing people who have done some amazing things in life. If I can talk to them, and if they can share their lessons and their learnings on YouTube, then everyone can learn from them. And there won't be a differentiation between someone who's from a tier 1 college to someone who is from a tier 4 college, right? Like the biggest difference of IITs and other colleges is the exposure and the awareness that you get about opportunities that you can take, right? And if I can democratize that, if everyone can learn about that, then everyone can progress further in their career, right? So there was this person in second year of college who had cracked GSOC in second year, went to Harvard for a 6-month internship, which was paid for by Harvard. So I sat down with him and I was like, "Aap mujhe batao exactly what did you do that helped you get these opportunities in second year of college," right? And that's sort of how my journey started. Then the pandemic happened. I came back to my house and I had all the time in the world to start creating content. And that's when I started sharing my own learnings of how to use LinkedIn. I wrote a book called Let's Crush It on LinkedIn. And that is when I started this idea of freelancing. right? So I used to make videos on YouTube. I had about 3,000 subscribers. Not a big number, right? Like the next guest that will be here on stage has millions of subscribers. But I had 3,000 subscribers. You might think that 3,000 subscribers mein kya hi milega, right? Like what opportunities can you really get? I got this email from this YC-backed startup called as Able Jobs, and that's when I got my first freelance opportunity to make videos for their YouTube channel. So they were like, we see that you can communicate very well. We want you to make videos for our own YouTube channel. The first lesson that you can take away is that you don't need to have a lot of credentials on social. If you are in the journey, you will definitely get opportunities if you are consistent with your efforts. Like they could see that I was consistently putting out videos on YouTube, and that is when they reached out to me. So that's the first thing that happened. Secondly, I wanted to revise Python, right? I was like, I'm going to get back into programming, I want to revise Python. So I just made 4 or 5 videos of Python programming, just some very basic tutorials on for loops, conditionals, functions, OOP concepts. And then I get this email from Unacademy saying that, hey, we saw that video of yours, and we wanted to work with you. Now those videos just got 10, 20, 30 views. अगर आप खुद ऐसी कोई चीज़ वीडियो बनाओगे एंड इतने कम व्यूज आएंगे, यू विल डेफिनेटली फील डीमोटिवेटेड कि यार मेरी वीडियो कोई देख नहीं रहा, एंड देयर इज दिस सौरभ जोशी जिसको 10-10 लाख लोग देखते हैं हर वीडियो में. एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई वांट यू टू अंडरस्टैंड. It's not about the number of views, it's about the right type of views, right? You don't need a lakh views to get opportunities. You just need the right type of people to see you and to discover your talent. And that's the biggest learning from 2020. Now moving forward in 2021, I was getting offers from edtech companies saying that, hey, we see that you've been growing your YouTube channel and we want you to help us grow our YouTube channel as well. And that is when I had 2 choices in my life in 2021 starting. I could either work with one company and I could help them grow their channel, which is the easy thing to do, or I can call up my roommate from college, we can start an agency together and we can work with 5 different companies and we can do the same thing but at a bigger scale. This is going to be much harder. This will take a lot of effort. This will be challenging. I did not know how to hire. I did not know how to pitch. I did not know any of these things, right? But this was the exciting choice to take. And that's when I realized that many a times in life you will get 2 choices. You should always pick the one which is harder and will give you the best learning experience, the best growth opportunity. Pick that and you will never regret it, right? I could have gone with that one company, I could have worked for them for their YouTube channel, but I chose to build my own agency and work with multiple people. And that's what I want you to understand as well. Now, moving forth, I was growing my YouTube channel. I then also met this person called Kushal Lodha, and we decided that, hey, how cool would it be if we can email the founders of billion-dollar companies of India, and we can get to sit with them for an hour or 2 and get to know their journeys, right? You might have seen the billionaires out there who are coming from startups, like Ritesh Agarwal, Zerodha brothers and all that. And you might think that ये लोग कुछ अलग मिट्टी के बने हैं, right? You might think that they have some innate talent in themselves that enable them to build such huge empires. And that's what we want to break. We realize that these people started with nothing and they discovered their one thing that they truly want to solve. And that's how they went ahead with their career, and they built such huge companies. So we decided to interview every single one of them and share the lessons from their journey in the book Unicorn Secret, which will be coming out this year as well. So that's literally what my journey has been about. It's been all about going through hurdles and challenges and learning throughout it all. Now, I want to ask you one thing. What do you think is the most important skill or the most important goal that every student should have? Most important goal? Financial stability. I would rather call it financial independence. Like, I think that the biggest thing that you can do for yourself is to live on your own. Self-independence. Right? Atmanirbhar bano, that's what PM Modi says. Now, the context of that in your age is how soon can you become self-independent and how can you make sure that you are not becoming a burden to your parents. Like when I came to BITS, the fees was crazy high, and I realized that my parents had to pay a lot just because I could not get into an IIT, and I had to now depend on them for the fees. And that's when I realized that I need to do something, I need to figure something out so that they don't have to pay all of this. And that's when in second year I paid my first college fees, the first semester fees, I paid it myself, and that was the best feeling ever. 2021, I bought myself a MacBook, which is a big deal for me back then, and I bought it, and that was also the best feeling ever. So the best thing you can do for yourself is to become reliant on your own self, right? Do things on your own. I remember my father used to always tell me when I used to ask him कि मेरे को iPad दिला दो when I was a little kid, and he was like, खुद खरीदो, right? He always was of this mindset, if you want something, go buy it on your own, instead of waiting for someone else to buy it for you. And that was the best thing that happened to me. I learned this mindset shift from I can't afford it to how can I afford it, right? When you have this mindset shift, it opens doors to a lot of different options and choices that you can take. If I need to get this one milestone in life, what steps can I take that will help me accomplish that? So that's literally what happened to me. The best thing is that MarketUp spent 0 rupees to acquire all the clients that we have. Right? Like you might have seen a lot of businesses जो बहुत सारे ads चलाते हैं, जो बहुत सारी marketing करते हैं. We did 0 ads. The reason to that is personal branding. Right? The topic of this session is the power of you. And I realized that the best thing you can do to differentiate yourself is to talk about yourself, your lessons, and your journey on social. And that's literally what I've been doing over the past 2 years. Like on LinkedIn, on Twitter, I have been sharing my lessons, and I've been building in public, right? Learn in public. How many of you know about this concept? Right? So this is the best thing you can do right now. If you're a student and if you're learning something, go out there every single day and just share what is it that you learned. If you're a developer, just write down the project that you're working on. If you learned a new library, if you learned a new language, if you just learned something new, share it with the world. Because something really magical happens. People start discovering you. People start knowing who you are and what is it that you are expert in. And as long as you are doing that, you will open doors to tons of opportunities for yourself, and you will never have to, apply for a job or for an opportunity, because you'll get so many inbound opportunities, you never have to look back at it again. So that's the biggest learning that I had, is to learn in public. It is to build in public, and I got all the opportunities without me having to, shout at the top of my voice on social media. So that's about personal branding. Now, how can you develop that? You need to build a talent stack of yourself. Do you know what a talent stack is? Talent stack? No one? Essentially, the way the talent stacking works is that, let's just say that you're a developer, right? You need to stack your skills or your talent so that you become different from everyone else. A developer who is great at marketing, who knows how to communicate well, and can negotiate. Right? I'm stacking the skills and the talent so that this person with this stack of skills becomes far more valuable than everyone else out there. So your mission should always be, how can I stack my skills and become more valuable than other people out there? Because now you can understand both the marketing angle of a product and the development angle of a product. And when you do that, you can have far better, products that you can develop once you understand both the angles. All right, how many of you want to start a business? I see a lot of hands out there. The one thing that you need, there is this thing called as CNTS. If you want to start a business, you need to look at these 5 things very closely. The first C stands for the competition. And you need to figure out if your company can be replicated by someone else, and how easy it is for them to replicate it. Do you have a moat, right? Like, for example, have you ever looked at those generic social media companies that would do everything out there, right? You might have seen those digital marketing agencies. The problem with these agencies is that anyone can replicate these companies. right? You don't have a moat for yourself. And when you do not have a moat for yourself, you do not have the profit margins as well. So the first thing you should focus on is this very important thing. How easy is it for you, is it for someone else to replicate your own business? The next thing is control. How many of you have watched those Facebook games back in 2010s, 2014, 2015? How many of you have played Candy Crush or, Farmville, 2 Country Escape and all, right? Facebook pe game aap sabne khele honge. Now, when Facebook came with a different policy, all of those games vanished, right? Sare game khatam ho gaye because Facebook was the platform and they could change every single thing about their platform. And so you need to figure out, if you want to start a business, do you have control over your business? And if you do not have that, then you will easily be, changed. Like, you can be destroyed very easily. The first thing to figure out is your control on your business. The second thing is how is it that other people can understand your, let me figure it out, right? So CNTS, what is the scope of your industry? S stands for scope. Have you ever looked at those newspapers? This business of newspapers is reducing every single month, every single year. This is a dying industry. If you start a business in a dying industry, you will always face challenges. You will always find it hard to start a business in this domain. You will always find it easier to start a business in a domain that is always growing, right? Have you used ChatGPT? Right? So this AI wave is growing rapidly. If you were to build something in this space, the opportunities and the probability for you to succeed will be a lot more as well. So always figure out how can you start something which will be in an industry which is rapidly growing out there. Achha, now talking about this very important concept of AI tools coming out. Aapne ChatGPT use kiya hai, but have you realized that there are tons of other tools as well that you can use? Have you used Tome? Has anyone used Tome? Right? Tome is an amazing tool that you can use to create presentations in seconds. It saves a ton of your time. It makes your experience seamless. There are tons of other tools that you can use to become faster in the work that you're doing. So whatever it is that you're focusing on, right? Be it graphic design, be it content writing, be it software development, AI tools can help you become more productive in all of these domains. And your mindset should not be ki AI will take away my job and main kya karunga. It should rather be, how can I use these tools to become more productive and work with more clients? Like previously, if there is a content writer who had to write scripts, now they can take help of ChatGPT or other tools to come up with some material to get inspired from and then write those scripts faster. So that's literally what you need to figure out. How can you use these tools and become faster at whatever it is that you're doing? There are a couple of sites that you can use called as futuretools.io and futurepedia.io. In sari sites pe you'll find all of the tools that you can use for your work and how can you make your work even better with the help of it. So always make sure that you know the latest trends in the AI world because it is rapidly expanding and there's so many different things that are coming out. One more thing I want to talk about before I go to the questions part, because I think that is more interesting, is to always be relentless in whatever it is that you're doing. Like, I made a promise to myself in 2020 that for better or for worse, I will put out one video every 2 days. I need to put out one video every 2 days, and I stayed true to that till this day. There are over 900 videos on my channel right now. And something really interesting happens when you stay true to your promise. You build self-confidence, right? If you have anything that you want to achieve, just make a promise to yourself कि मैं ये करके रहूँगा. And the more you stay true to it, you will feel that confidence कि अगर मैंने ये कर लिया तो what else can I do? So always make sure that you build this self-confidence in yourself. And the only way to do that is to build promises and stay consistent with it. So that's literally what I have to share with you. One last thing is, how many of you document whatever it is that you listen? How many of you are documenting it? How do you document? What do you use? Diary, what exactly are you using? Notes? I see a lot of people have notes with them. I think it's better for you to use digital tools, like there's something called as Notion. How many of you have heard of it? Right? This amazing tool called as Notion, it's a free note-taking app that you can use, and you can write down all the learnings that you've had. अब इससे क्या होता है, like our brain is great at coming up with ideas, at coming up with insights, but it is very poor at retaining all of them. Right? That is why the traditional system of rote memorization doesn't really work. So your focus should be, how can I go through a YouTube video, a podcast, a talk show like this, and how can I write down all of my learnings in a Notion doc? क्योंकि इसमें क्या होता है, you might have that page of paper जहाँ आप लिख रहे हो. अगर 4 साल बाद आपसे पूछूं मैं कि ये पेपर कहाँ पर है, राइट, तो घूम जाएगा या कुछ भी हो जाएगा उसका. बट इफ यू हैव इट रिटन डाउन in a tool like Notion, you will be able to access it wherever you want. So always get into this habit of documenting, because इससे क्या होगा, you can look back कि अच्छा मैंने 4 महीने पहले क्या lessons सीखे थे from this one person or from this one event, and that is going to help you implement this, right? कई बार आप सब कुछ सुनते हो YouTube पे, आप बहुत सारी चीज़ें सुनते हो बहुत सारी वीडियोस में, बट आप implement नहीं कर पाते हो उसको. Why? Because you tend to forget all of it. And so अगर आप इसको रिफ्लेक्ट करोगे बाद में जाकर के, then that will be really amazing for you as well. So that's all from me. I now want to turn to you to ask the questions that you have, and how can I better answer those questions. Questions? Raise your hands and I think we'll get a mic over there. Questions around building a personal brand, around starting content creation, around entrepreneurship. Your
Hello,
name and the question. Yes.
Hello, sir. Myself Neeraj, and I would like to ask that what are the things what are the things that helped you in your future when you were a child? But what are the things that you have to leave to continue your work? Like there may be something like you were following, but after some time, like in your progress, you have to leave some things and you have to gain some things. So what are those points?
The only thing I left was my college last year. That's the only thing I had to leave, because क्या होता है ना कि once you start something of your own, like a business or like a YouTube channel, and once you see that कि ठीक है ये चीज़ grow कर सकती है, there is potential in this. So I'll tell you what happened. 2020 में for 6 months I uploaded videos, 1 video every 2 days as per my promise, and it took me 6 months to get to 1,000 subscribers, right? In 2022, when I was dropping out, I was getting 1,000 subscribers every single day. So this is an exponential curve in which I was on. So you need to figure out how can you focus on this and double down on it, right? So back in 2022, when the college called me back, I had 2 options. I could either manage everything and make memories with my college friends, and in my college I had 2 years left, or I could leave this and focus on building my own agency. I could focus on coming to different colleges and giving talks and sharing my experiences like this one. And that is what I chose, because I thought कि इसमें मुझे ज़्यादा सीखने को मिलेगा. I thought this will be a better way for me to learn and grow as a person, right? Again, this is a hard thing to do, right? Just जैसे ही मैंने market up start करने के time, I chose either starting my own company, learning on the way, or taking up a job and working on just one project. So I chose the harder path, and it's been a great journey over the last year. I think 27th March 2022 is when I dropped out. It's going to be 1 year soon, this month, and it's been a great journey so far. So I think only thing you should leave is the one that is slowing down your growth. Like the thing is that जब मैं college में था, right, जैसे मेरा mindset क्या चलता है, I'm always thinking how can I make a better video, how can I find that one client, right? That's what I am thinking in my mind. जब मैं अपने college में गया, वहाँ पर सबके अलग ही problems चल रहे थे, right? They were like कि ये paper खराब हो गया, ये professor खड़ूस है, ये ऐसा हो गया, वैसा हो गया. So they were always worried about that. They were worried about getting their internship, about this, that, or the other thing. While मेरा दिमाग कुछ अलग चल रहा था, and I was like, this is not the right environment for me to grow. So I left my college, came to Pune. I was living in Pune back then, by the way. And then I left my Pune and I came to Bangalore, and that's been the best decision of my life so far. और बताओ, questions?
Hello, good morning. I'm Shomili. So one thing common between me and you is that we both have a YouTube channel, but the only difference is that I have my YouTube channel since last 2.5 years, and I guess I'm being consistent because I post videos on and off in like one video every week. But the thing is that I need some tips from you to, as in how to increase, the reach, engagement, etc. Because some tips which I've already heard is that you need to be consistent. You need to post trending videos like the trending songs.
What is your videos about? Like what?
Dance
what
videos.
Dance videos?
Yes.
Wonderful. First of all, how many of you already have a YouTube channel? Awesome. Awesome. It's very hard to, start a YouTube channel and get your face in front of people because the criticism that you get is on another level, right? Like, बहुत सारे लोग बोलते हैं क्या कर रहा है, ये क्यों कर रहा है, and all that. They call you names. But if you're still on it and making videos, congrats to you and keep up with the hard work. Secondly, how do you grow your YouTube channel? I think what works the best is to find out your niche or your niche, whatever you call it. तो इसमें क्या, there's something called as blue ocean strategy, right? There's a book called as blue ocean strategy. इसमें क्या होता है, you look at different industries or categories in YouTube and you see how can you combine both of those. Finance on Instagram was boring. Comedy on Instagram was trending. Combine both and we have finance with Sharan, right? We've all seen his videos. So if you look at all of the famous YouTubers, they've all combined 2 or 3 different categories and they've created a new category of themselves, जहाँ पे कोई competition ही नहीं है. So your focus should be on how can I use this category of dancing with a different category on YouTube. It could be anything, right? And how can I make something new? Because इसमें क्या होता है, whenever you do something new, you are rewarded for that on YouTube. Right? Just say, I realized that no one is making videos documenting their journey as a 20-year-old trying to live independently, right? So that's what I started with, and that's how I differentiate myself with everyone else. So try to focus on that blue ocean strategy. Uske baad to it's just that game of learning about thumbnails, engaging video edits. You need to be great at SEO for the video, and then you need to figure out what is your vision, right? Always stay in touch with your audience. That's why I do events like these, because I get to learn from all of you people what is it that you are facing challenges with, right? So I think that's literally what you need. Just find out that one strategy, and if you can find that, then your channel will go rapidly. But always realize that, have you made 100 videos so far? No, right? You make 100 videos, and before that, you don't assume anything. 100 videos of you trying out different things, right? अलग-अलग experiments करो and see how it turns out. And the more you do that, the more data points you'll get. कि अच्छा ठीक है, ये चलता है, ये नहीं चलता, ये चल रहा है, ये नहीं चल रहा. And then you can tailor the next videos accordingly. So I want all of you, if you want to be successful on social media, at least put out 100 content pieces, experimenting and finding out what is it that truly works, and then just doubling down on that. But before 100 videos, do not expect anything to blow up. That's just how YouTube is. Like, YouTube needs to trust you for them to push out your videos to a bigger audience. They need to trust you that, okay, you have an interesting piece of content which will create more engagement on their platform, on YouTube. So that's literally what you need to figure out if you want to be successful on YouTube. It's a long-term game. It's not going to happen overnight. Awesome. More questions?
Hello sir, my name is Tanvi Garg and I'm a big fan of yours and I have no questions to ask you. But I feel privileged today to hear you live today. And I just want to request you to, can you shake, can I have a handshake with you on the stage?
Yeah, sure, Tanvi. Thank you so much. Come on board. In the meantime, you need to think of good questions, guys. Think of good questions. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, questions? Get the mics to them, please. Which? Yes, you're audible.
I'm audible, sir? Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. My name is Aditya. So actually, when we talk about entrepreneurship and we talk about startups, and we also say that after COVID, there is a boom of startup in India. But if we see about the reality and statistics, then 90% of the startups are being failed or they are not able to raise funds at that level. So what is stopping Indian startups from going to, that level or raising the funds or not being successful so much?
Yeah, the easiest thing you can do in building a startup is to raise funds right now.
Yes, sir.
Right, there was this experiment done by someone जिसने AI की help से एक artificial LinkedIn profile बनाई थी, right, of a white male, ex-Stripe, Stripe, right? Stripe is a company from US, and that guy was a YC-backed company who sold it, and this was just all artificial. This person does not exist, and that person got tens of DMs from VCs saying that, hey, we want to look at your company, we want to invest in the company. Right? It's crazy out there. Like VCs really want to invest in good people, but they want to invest in people who understand the users better. Okay? So again, I don't have a VC-backed company, nor do I plan to do so in the near future. But I think the most important thing to do for Indian startups or any startup in general, right, is to obsess over the customer and figure out how can you create that word of mouth.
Okay,
because you've seen companies spend thousands of crores, right, in ads. You've seen Zomato ads on YouTube, Swiggy, and Cred, and all those companies. They have massive losses.
Yes, sir.
Right? Why is that? Because they fail to generate this viral marketing wala part, right? Like there are so many companies. An academy is failing because they don't have this element of growth, viral growth. Versus physics wala is growing like crazy. Because people genuinely love that guy, right? जब आप देखते हो, you feel like that अपनापन लगता है when you look at his videos. So your focus should be how can I do this? There is a rise of companies built on personal brands. Have you heard of The Rock? Yes, The Rock started this company in the tequila business, right? I don't know the name of it, but it's a $4 billion company. And he built it on the back of his brand because he understood what is it that his fans want and how can he contextualize that information for them, right? So he called it the people's tequila. It felt closer to them. So you should read up this story about his crazy business and how he grew it. You learn a lot about how can you start a business on your personal brand. Because उसमें क्या होगा, you will always find people promoting you and talking about your business out there. So that's the best thing you can do out there, right? To always focus on that. How close can you be with the customer and how can you build a personal brand that starts your journey? क्योंकि इसमें क्या होगा, normally startups in India build a product, they go out and they raise money and then they figure out how can they make money, right? This is a very, very shady business to be in. What you should rather do is start a startup, use your personal brand, get the traction, and then pitch to a VC saying that I have 1 lakh customers, I want to now scale to 1 crore customers. That's why I want to raise funding, right? So always figure out how can you do that effectively, and as long as you do that, you'll always be having a great business. You should read about the journey of Zerodha brothers and how they grew Zerodha. It's an amazing case study to learn about building profitable companies. Questions?
Hello. Yeah, Ishan, my name is Amar, and the question I've got for you is, if the content on my channel does not revolve around one topic or one niche specifically, so will that hamper my growth on YouTube? And if I do make content on like a lot of topics at once, how will I monetize it eventually? That's the question I have.
यार चैनल जो होता है ना आपका, like people should remember you for something. जैसे like if you think of freelancing, what is the first name that comes into your mind? What is the first name that comes into your mind? Freelancing on YouTube.
Freelancing on...
who has talked about freelancing on YouTube. You know that name, right? Whatever that name is. You know that one person. If I talk about business case studies, you know about Think School,
Yeah.
right? Or any other YouTube creator. The point is, you need to be known for that one category, right? If I talk about finance, if I talk about personal finance, you know Ankur Bariku,
Yeah.
right? So always focus that on this very important metric. Like if people think of a category, who is it that they're thinking of, and can they think of you in that domain? So
there,
I think that works out the best.
So there needs to be a niche, basically.
There needs to be a theme
Okay.
that people will understand, right? Like either it is you talking about political videos, that can get traction. But if you do everything in the same time, तो क्या होता है कि आपकी audience बढ़ जाती है. Right? If I talk, the thing that happened with my channel is that I talk about coding, talk about freelancing, talk about business as well. तो अब क्या हुआ कि अगर 1 लाख लोग हैं जो कोडिंग के बारे में जानना चाह रहे थे, तो they will not watch the freelancing वाली video. So your focus should always be on this thing. How can you build a channel which is hyper focused on one niche? जैसे if I make a video editing channel, जिसमें मैं बस बात करूँ video editing के बारे में. Now that channel will grow rapidly because it will attract the right kind of audience जिसको video editing ही सीखनी है and they want to develop a career in video editing, right? And then if you try to monetize that channel by launching something of your own, it'll be much easier to do that. So always figure out how can you do that. If you want to talk about multiple things, start different channels, and that will work out better for you.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
हेलो सर, माय नेम इज़ गोविंद पांचा. माय क्वेश्चन इज़ दैट कि जैसे कि हम फर्स्ट ईयर के जी कॉलेज के फर्स्ट ईयर में हैं, आप ऐसा कुछ सजेशन कर सकते कि आगे के 3 साल के कॉलेज की जर्नी बहुत ग्रो कर सकते हैं?
यार अगले 3 साल कॉलेज की जर्नी में बहुत सारी चीज़ें यू विल एक्सपीरियंस. एक चीज़ हमेशा याद रखना कि योर टाइम इज़ योर बिगेस्ट बेनिफिट, राइट? Like you are a time billionaire right now, right? Like you might look at Warren Buffett who has billions of dollars, but what he does not have at his hand is time. So the next 3 years of your college, you will have ample of time with yourself, so you can do a lot of things. So you should always be selective for what is it that you're giving your time to. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है that you do not watch a Netflix TV show. It's not me saying that you should not go and hang out with your friends. It's just that do all of that, enjoy, but be cautious with your time, right? Be very much particular कि मैं किसको टाइम दे रहा हूँ, कितना टाइम दे रहा हूँ. Because क्या होता है ना कि I noticed this one thing in my first year that I spent way too much time talking about stuff that does not matter. Like you know gossiping. क्या चाहो तो पता है वो दोस्त है मेरा, उसको ये बंदी ने डिच कर दिया, क्या कर दिया, कुछ भी हो गया. So I was always talking like my friends and all, we were just discussing all of these things, which doesn't really matter in the end of the world. Right, so always understand that one thing, and like as long as you're keeping track of time, then it'll be great. Then you'll just figure things out yourself. Always be curious, right? Always ask questions. कि ये कैसे चलता है? Like I looked at what happened after the pandemic. Like the US government started printing a lot of money, right? The federal वहाँ पे जो association होती है, they started printing a lot of money. I was like ऐसा क्यों होता है? Like how do banks really operate? How is money created? So I was curious. I was always asking questions. कि ये कैसे होता है? ये कैसे होता है? And then I learned a lot about this whole industry, right? And the more you do that, the more aware you will be about the world around you. So that's the first thing you should be doing if you're in college.
Thank you, sir.
और बताओ.
Hello Ishan, thanks for this great session. I am Sushan, and I will most probably that I can say most of the content creators will agree with me. Think that as you promised to yourself that I will upload a new video every 2 days, but the problem here is that it's so stressed to select the topics. Means if I ask to any content creator, he would most probably say that the biggest thing is to find new topics for consistently. So how do you tackle with that problems? Suppose I have a coding channel, I'm making videos consistently, but it's so tough to create. Means I have knowledge of suppose Python, so I'm making videos on Python, but how do you come with new topics consistently? Means how do you find at when you were trying to do that?
Yeah, I used to ask myself this question ki, what is one thing that 17-year-old Ishan would want to know? Right? So I was always making videos for myself, thinking that people like me would want to know about these things. And that is why जब भी मैं मिलता हूँ, right, I meet these 15-16-year-olds, वो developer बन चुके हैं, they are working in companies and they're doing some crazy work, right? And that makes me so happy because like they watched videos of mine and other creators as well and they started on their journey. So always ask yourself, what is it that a younger version of you would want to know? ठीक है, so always focus on that. Secondly, ideas आपको मिल जाएंगे. That is not the big challenge. Also, you don't need to be uploading one video every 2 days. तो मैंने किया था, right? You can say that, hey, I just want to make one video a week. That's completely fine. But you need to be consistent with that. One video a week is consistency. 5 videos a week is also consistency. 1 video a month is also consistency. But what is not consistency is 4 वीडियो अपलोड करें एक हफ्ते फिर 2 महीने के लिए गायब हो गए, राइट? दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू यील्ड यू रिजल्ट्स. सो जस्ट मेक अ शेड्यूल कि ठीक है मैं इतनी वीडियोस डाल सकता हूँ. नेक्स्ट स्टेप शुड बी हाउ कैन आई ईदर टीच अ यंगर वर्जन ऑफ माई सेल्फ जो मैंने सीखा है अभी तक, और हाउ कैन आई ask people in this community. You can go to Quora, right? Quora पे जाओ, search करो for your topic, right? Is it coding? Is it freelancing? Graphic design? जो भी topic है आपका, and you will find people asking questions, right? Like how to learn graphic design? What are the best ways to find clients as a graphic designer? How to grow in this career of graphic design? So you will find all those questions. अब अगर आप एक graphic design expert हो, then you can answer these questions for people. And it can be as simple as going on Quora. You can ask to people, you can look at the comment section of a lot of YouTube videos in your domain. Right? अगर कोई दूसरा YouTube creator है, look at the comments कि वो क्या बोल रहे हैं. Right? Are they having some questions जो अभी तक आंसर नहीं हुए हैं? So you can answer those as well. So इस तरह की काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें रहती हैं that you can do. Getting ideas is not the problem. The problem is how can you create that storytelling in your video that makes it more engaging. And the more you do that, the better your videos will perform on YouTube and any other platform.
Hi sir, myself Om. तो मुझे आई एम वेरी क्यूरियस अबाउट आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एंड मेटावर्स. सो मुझे एक क्वेश्चन है कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस अब IQ बेस्ड तो जॉब को रिप्लेस कर रहा है, तो क्या ये EQ बेस्ड की जॉब को रिप्लेस कर सकता है?
Bro, I think it will never replace, you as a person. Like it's the same question. आपने Canva use किया होगा ना? सबने Canva use किया है. Yeah, right? तो जब Canva आया था मार्केट में 2015, 2016 के अराउंड, तो everyone was afraid कि यार इससे ग्राफिक डिजाइनर्स रिप्लेस हो जाएंगे. But ऐसा नहीं हुआ. Right? Graphic design still to this date is one of the highest paid things that you can do. UI design, UX design उस domain के अंदर. Now it will not replace you, but if you can, it will replace the person who will take your job will be the one who knows how to use these AI tools, right? So AI will not replace your job. Someone who knows how to use AI will. So your focus should always be कि मैं कैसे इन AI tools को use करके how can I become better than everyone else out there. So I think that's literally what you should think about. It's not about EQ, IQ, something like that. It's just about this one question to ask. So always focus on that. और बताओ.
Hello. So you touch on the topic of documentation for your notes or for the lectures.
You are not audible.
You touch on the topic of documenting the talk. On the same note, do you have any tips for documenting your coding skills or technical content like class or something other than, or tools or tips and tricks?
Documenting technical content, like whatever it is that you're learning, right? So I think you should make cheat sheets for whenever you're learning, right? Like for example, when I was learning Git commands, when I was learning about Git and GitHub, I just made this cheat list for myself, जिसमें सारे command लिखे हुए थे, and what they really do is what is explained over there. So for you, it can be as simple as that. You can, तो Notion में क्या होता है? There's this template for 100 days of code. Does anyone know about 100 days of code? It's an amazing challenge that you can take up, and through that you can become a better programmer because you're staying consistent and you're learning every single day for 100 days straight. Now, there is a template on Notion that you can just get. You can just search on Google 100 days of code Notion template. You can download it. You can use it for yourself. उसमें क्या होगा? हर दिन के लिए there will be a template for you. कि अच्छा ठीक है, this is tell me what you learned. Tell me what are the new skills or things that you built, like a project that you built. So when you will document all of that, तो आपको 100 दिन का सब कुछ मिल जाएगा at just one place. So try to use that. That will be very much beneficial for you.
Hi Ishan, Suresh here.
Yes.
So basically, I am working on a roommate listing platform where called Dinner. So basically, I want to ask you, can you give some tips on team building? So how I can check that our team is basically working on my vision.
Right. So if you want to build a team, right, you should always find people who are relentless in their work ethic. Like there's a reason why we never hire from IITs or from tier 1 colleges. Like मेरे खुद के college से I never hired a single person, or from IITs as well. Why? Because we need to find people who have had a failure in life and they now want to rebound. Right? Like for most people, when they do not get into the best college, they always have that thing in their mind to prove themselves कि यार कुछ बड़ा करना है, right? So we always want to work with these people because they will put their 100% effort into the work that we have, right? So I literally remember this one instance कि I remember this one instant कि जब मैं रात को 4 बजे उठा, तो I looked at my WhatsApp का groups with our clients, and I literally saw one of our teammates chatting with them at the middle of the night. It was a US client, तो वो उसी time पे they are awake and they are working. And I messaged him saying that यार अभी क्यों काम कर रहे हो? You can just sleep. तो he's like नहीं, मुझे काम करके सोना है. Right? So that guy had this priority कि I will complete my work, then I'll sleep. So you should always find people like those who can give in their 100% effort, because that is what you need in the initial phases of your company. You will find these people from colleges that you never heard the name of. Like all the people at MarketUp are from lesser known colleges, but their work is amazing. Like they bring out their A game and they work to their fullest. So always find people like those.
Hello. Hi, Ishan. I'm Viraj. So, earlier they used to say that you are the product of 5 people you hang out with. But in this new generation, it's like you are the product of the 5 YouTube channels you watch. So what's your take on that?
I think it's absolutely right. Right? Like YouTube is such an amazing platform. Like I learned everything from YouTube. जो भी मैंने सीखा है मैंने आज तक, all the people that I have learned from, they've all been on YouTube. And I think that's the best thing you can do. Like बहुत से लोग मुझे बोलते हैं कि मेरे कॉलेज में या फिर मेरे अराउंड ये इन्वायरमेंट नहीं है टू लर्न समथिंग न्यू, टू गेट इनटू कोडिंग और टू लर्न एनी अदर न्यू स्किल, तो मैं क्या करूँ भैया? द बेस्ट थिंग यू कैन डू इज टू फाइंड दैट इन्वायरमेंट ऑनलाइन. It could be through communities, it could be through joining Discord servers, it could also be through, being a part of 5-6 YouTube channels that you diligently follow and you learn from them. So I think that's the best thing you can do, but also you should focus much more on your own insights and your learnings, right? Like बहुत सारे लोग YouTube videos देखते रहते हैं and their measure of progress becomes कि मैंने आज कितनी YouTube videos देख ली. Well, that is amazing. You should watch videos, you should learn from everyone, but then at the end of the day, you should realize that this is just you learning something, and that doesn't matter much if you don't execute. Right? Like ठीक है आपने 10 वीडियो देख ली, बट आपने उसमें से कितनी चीज़ों में एक्ट किया in your own life. So that's what I think that you should rather be focusing on. You are the product of the 5 habits you execute on as well. Awesome. Yes. More questions.
Hello, sir. Myself Rudraj Kushwaha, and sir, I am following you from on social media from past 1 year, and I always saw you posting content on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, posting content daily on many topics. So how you get content ideas, इतने सारे content ideas आपको मिलते हैं. Apart from learnings, what we can post, and always we are in a fear that what people will say, that what you are exactly talking about in such platforms. तो post नहीं हो पाते फिर. Most of the time in gone in thinking what to post and what to post about. Apart from learning, what can we post?
Yeah, you should talk about your journeys. Like the thing that works best is when people can connect with you, right? Jesse, like the best performing posts on my LinkedIn and Twitter have been about my journey and what I've learned from that. So apart from your lessons, from whatever it is that you're learning every day, sharing, building in public, learning in public, you should also share your journey. ठीक है, मैं इस hackathon में गया, मैंने ये इस पे काम किया. We could not win, but here are still 5 things that I learned from the hackathon. Here are 5 interesting people I met from the hackathon. Things like that. So always focus on this. How can you share your learnings and be more personal? Like personal stories work the best on LinkedIn. So always focus on that. There's always this, fear that अगर मैं कुछ आगे content डालूंगा तो लोग क्या बोलेंगे, right? Like सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग वाली चीज हो जाती है सबके साथ. I would advise you to be indifferent with what people are saying to you. जब हम कोई भी अच्छा comment देखते हैं तो we think highly of ourselves, right? कि कितना अच्छा कर रहा हूँ मैं, सब लोग इतने अच्छे से बोल रहे हैं मेरे को. That should not happen.
Yes, sir.
When you look at a good comment, you should be neutral. When you look at a bad comment, you should also be neutral. Because when you hype yourself up with a good comment, you will be depressed when you see someone, calling you down. So always focus on this thing. How can you be indifferent to comments that people have on social? Because क्या होता है, social media, people are very different when they are on social versus when they are in person, right? Like they would never say the same thing that they wrote on your comment section when they meet you in person. So you should always understand this one thing. There is a lot to learn from feedback and criticism, but you should always have that filter on. Like the moment the comments become illogical, that's when you need to be indifferent to all of them. And that will help you out the most. Like when I started my YouTube channel, बहुत सारे लोगों ने मेरे thumbnails के WhatsApp sticker बना करके WhatsApp पे forward करते थे in my college. Right now I could have looked at that. I could have, quit my YouTube channel. But I did not. I realized that जो मेरा vision है of what I want to build, जो मेरा aim है, not everyone can understand that, right? Not everyone will understand the dream that you have with what you want to build, and that's completely fine. Because they might have a different, plan for themselves. Like मेरा दोस्त है बहुत अच्छा, and he used to message me saying that YouTube video क्यों बनाता है यार? Like YouTube पे क्यों जा रहा है? Right? Like just focus on your curriculars, like just focus on learning programming and get a big tech company job and you'll be set for life. So that was his definition of success. And everything else felt like a waste of time to him, right? Whereas my vision was different. I wanted to share my learnings with people and build a community that would resonate with me. And that is what I focused on. That is what my definition of success is. So you need to define it for your own self and then just be indifferent to everyone.
Hey Ishan, my name is Abhiraj. So I freelance. I freelance for Indian clients, doing some website jobs and logos and all. So I converted it into the agency kind of stuff and named it WebFudge and all. I want to know how to get clients from the foreign. Like for your market it up, you get clients from foreign and how you approach the foreign clients and how to like convert them to be a long-term clients and all. Right now I'm just working with the Indian clients and we all know Indian clients have low budgets and all, and we need to make money and that's why. So how to get the foreign clients and
right. So the question is, how can you find US clients to work with as an agency or as a freelancer, right? Like how many of you used Fiverr? Right, बहुत से लोगों ने use किया होगा Fiverr. Now the problem is that when you go on these platforms, right, you're not able to distinguish yourself from everyone else. And the lowest rate is what the market rate becomes. Now, when you want to get clients on from abroad, you need to focus on creating that ideal persona of the client that you want to work with, and be very particular with that. Like, let's just say we at MarketUp want to work with AI companies who have Series A plus, right? They're Series A plus funded AI companies. Now, this is a very particular persona कि मुझे इनके साथ ही काम करना है. So इसके बाद I can make a list of such clients and then I can reach out to them, right? The best thing that works is to do something for them in advance. Like मेरे को बहुत सारे मैसेज करते हैं creators, freelancers, and they like कि मैंने आपकी वीडियो एडिट कर दी आपके लिए, आप देखो कैसा लग रहा है, and if you like this video, we can work ahead. So इसमें क्या होता है, I am bound to look at that video and I almost feel guilty अगर मैं उनको reply नहीं करूँगा. So the best thing you can do is to look at their company, to look at their strategy, and then to create a different execution plan that you have for them. It could be as easy as saying that, hey, let's try it out for one video edit. I will do it for free. You do not have to pay anything upfront. I will make sure that I give my best on it.